empty chat.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hi, haters. I know you missed us. I know you're watching, and I know you're going to see this. So, Bruce is apparently moved to the Caribbeans and is part of a cult. I don't know. Ask him. He's the one wearing the Hawaiian shirt, drinking rum. Yeah, here's a Hall of Famer to introduce us. Bye.
Yo, monkeys, it's me. It's DDP. That's right, Diamond Dallas Page, the king of bada bing, the master of the diamond cutter, the three-time world champion, WWE Hall of Famer, and founder and CEO of DDP Yoga. And baby, it is time for the Towers of Powers, the men of the hour. I'm talking about my main men, the men with the plan. I'm talking about Whisky Pro and the Brews, baby. And we're bringing you the best in beerskis and whiskeys from the greatest city in the world, Dallas, Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, can you dig that, baby? These guys are going to make you boys feel the bang. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
And we're here.
What up? I made it back just in time.
What's up, dude? I say this every time. I love our intro. I really do. I'm a sucker for a good intro, for a good promo package. And dude, I honestly, I'm really proud of that. You did an awesome job. I love it.
Dude, I'm just glad I wasn't around to, for it to burst my eardrums.
Right. But yeah, welcome back. It's been a month. I know a lot of you have missed us, mainly our haters, and I know that you're watching. Well, guess what?
Has it really been a month?
Dude, it's been a month.
Bro.
It's been a month and a week to be exact. A month and a week.
Yeah, you had your shit. I had to prepare for a cruise that was.
You're still not back yet. You go up to the Caribbeans and then you end up joining a cult. What is this? I don't even get an invite. I mean, come on.
Hey, they said the juice tasted good. It was just Kool-Aid.
Oh,
meh.
No. Okay. Well, before we dive too much into this, we are a wrestling podcast, but we are also a craft beer podcast. Now, I'm a little disappointed in myself, but we'll get to that in a minute. Bruce, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, it's not craft beer.
Michelob Ultra. Hey, that's a classic. You got to stick with the classics.
No, in all honesty, I'm on a very major diet right now.
Okay.
I cut out pop. I'm doing nothing but water. I'm doing nothing but low carb, beer. Small amounts of spirits. So it's working though, man. Over the last two and a half weeks, I managed to get my A1C down a little bit. So
that's what matters.
What you got to do? What are you drinking?
Right. Well, so we are a craft beer show, and we do come on here and have a few and like to enjoy, if you will, partake. But I'm disappointed myself because I say this. Growing up, I hated this beer. I called it Rocky Mountain Goat Piss. I called it the White Trailer Trash beer. I am drinking Coors Light. And I don't know what came over me. My lovely bride-to-be, she got her uncle drinks this stuff. And I had one at his house one day, and I was like, you know what? This is not that bad. And I was like, in a social setting or sitting at home, I could see myself having a few of these and just enjoying it. So I picked some up. I got me a 12-pack at home, and random Friday night sitting home, nothing to do. Kids aren't here. So what am I going to do? I'm going to throw back one or two beers and enjoy myself. Nothing wrong with that. So that's what I'm doing.
Nothing wrong with that. No, hell no.
I talk so much shit about this beer all my life. 38 years old. What am I drinking?
That's all I ever drank. Before I started getting into craft beer, it was nothing but Coors Light, Bud Light, Miller Lite. That's it. Those three.
But man, I know we have an enormous amount of stuff to get to. And I don't want to get all of it tonight because I feel like we're trying to cram everything into one thing. There's a couple of things that I kind of wanted to bring up and talk about a little bit. We can talk about your cruise as well. Things around here have been hectic, crazy. My daughter Haley started a new job at Sonic.
Ooh,
So
let's go. Congrats.
Carter's kind of getting back into, feeling a little bit better, knees healing up a little bit. So he's starting to feel and wheel and deal a little bit.
That's good. Rehab's going good.
Yeah. So things are kind of slowly on the incline of getting better and kind of getting back to normal a little bit around here. So been busy this weekend. Got a lot going on. The kids, my two girls are coming over for the first time in months.
Oh, let's go.
But man, it's been crazy. The world of wrestling has really just taken off. And Brews was, he was the last couple of weeks. He's been busy. I've been busy. So I kind of kept up with it a little bit. Brews, I know you said you didn't really keep up with it too much, right?
Yeah. I mean, my whole focus has been nothing but, getting work done and then preparing for the cruise. And then we were gone for like that whole week. We just got back this past Saturday, just a couple of days ago. But I really haven't had time to sit down and really go over. I saw a little bit of the highlights of the King and Queen of the Ring.
Right.
That was decent. That was okay. But as far as like Raw and SmackDown, I'm lost.
No, and I watched King and Queen of the Ring. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. I do have to give a quick shout out to RKO, Randy Orton, because since coming back, since making his debut, what was that? War Games, right?
Yeah, he came back in War Games. He
has not won a PLE, I guess is what they're calling them, paid live event, a PLE. He has not won a single PLE since he got back since War Games. It's the last one he won. Think about that. How many people he's put over? How many people he's helped extend their careers or excel their careers, or try to get them over with the crowd a little bit, kind of get some heat on them. So it's just insane to me that the veteran is now becoming a true veteran. He's a true vet now. I mean, he's putting other talent over before himself, and I love that about him.
Yeah, same. But you have to ask yourself, how long is that going to last? At some point, it's going to be like, look, I've scratched your back so long. What are you going to do for me now?
Well, yeah, you say that, but look at guys like The Undertaker. I mean, how many people did The Undertaker put over? And he did it for 30 years. Yes, The Undertaker was undefeated at WrestleMania, but I mean, he put over Brock Lesnar because he felt like it was the best thing for business. He put over Roman Reigns. I mean,
I am just afraid of it being another John Cena.
I can see that, and
you know what I mean?
No, and I get why people say that and they think that, but you have to stand back, and as much as you want to look at it as a fan perspective, you also have to look at it as a wrestler perspective. Right now, I think since he's getting older, he knows his years are kind of marked, right? He's giving back to the business. And you know what? If it makes him happy and he's enjoying it, that's all that should matter.
Sure.
I look, and I've said this a million times on the show. I think John Cena deserves one more big win, not necessarily a title shot, not necessarily a Royal Rumble win, although I wouldn't mind one. He deserves one more big win over a big star. I think he's entitled to it, and I think he deserves it. And I think the same for Randy Orton. I think he deserves one more possible title shot, maybe a United States title, IC title, tag team title, something like that. I think he's earned that spot. But right now, you know what? If he's enjoying just giving back to the business, let him. Now, if he's getting screwed every week and he's hating life, then yeah, I don't blame you. Walk away and don't even throw caution to the wind. Just say screw it and go.
Yeah.
But the big thing that I'm excited about, you already know what I'm going to say. Otis is finally getting a push. It's been leading up, and it's been leading up, and it's been leading up. And I beg you, I implore you, if you are at all a wrestling fan, a true wrestling fan, go back the last few weeks, and if nothing else, just watch the stuff with Otis and Chad Gable and Sami Zayn. It's kind of corny in its own right, but at the same time, you can tell there's definitely a story going. Now, while Otis doesn't really speak a whole lot, he tells a really good story with his facial expressions and his emotions. For instance, last week, basically Chad Gable has become the bully. He's marching Alpha Academy out there, tearing them down one by one. You're really bad. You're really bad. You're really bad. And he pushes and he pushes and he pushes and he pushes. Well, last night, Otis finally had enough. He was pushing on the other two members of Alpha Academy, and Otis stood up to him. Didn't hit him, didn't lay a hand on him, but he got between them. And I thought that was it's one of those things, and we talk about the philosophy and the psychological part of wrestling, and you could really tell he was telling a story without even using his words. And I love that. It's one of those things, and not to put it on the same spectrum, but just so you kind of understand the importance of psychological warfare in wrestling. Go back to The Undertaker and Triple H. Go back to The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. Go back to The Undertaker and The Rock. And I use all those because it's The Undertaker. When they would just stare or point at the WrestleMania sign. Yeah. You know, it's not that same ambiance, if you will, but it's that same kind of storytelling that they're telling. And it really, again, he's not saying any words. Chad Gable's in his face. You suck. You're horrible. Blah, blah, blah. And Sami Zayn finally kind of got Otis by himself, and he was like, dude, you don't have to listen to him. You need to listen to them talking about the crowd. And I was like, oh my God, that is brilliant. And then you hear the crowd pop for Otis, and I was like, yes. Now, let's not forget, look, I went online for 2 days and defended Otis's honor. So Otis, if you're seeing this, I got your back, buddy. I went online, and of course, I'm a member of 100 different wrestling groups. The amount of hate Otis gets is just not right. I'm like, y'all forget he was a Money in the Bank winner, which, of course, they squashed that opportunity. He's a 2-time tag team champion. So it's not like he's never, held a title before.
Yeah.
But now, again, granted, is he going to end up being the next John Cena or Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes? No, he's not. Or hell, even he may not even be the next Sami Zayn. He has a mid-carder that is fun to watch, and I think he at least deserves a little bit of recognition. And I think right now he's getting that. But just like with LA Knight, I feel like, okay, LA Knight's got this momentum. What are we doing with it? Nothing. Okay, he's got the momentum. What are we doing with it? Nothing. And I feel like with Otis, there's a small window. Not saying that it's an impossible window, but there's a small window because the crowd's only going to back Otis up for so long. He's not Cody Rhodes.
Right.
So they need to do something. And I told you before the show, I was stuffing my face with pizza. I have a serious prediction for SummerSlam. I'm shooting myself in the foot because my gut is telling me something's going to happen next week at I think it's Clash of the Castle
Clash of the Castle. Yep.
Yeah, Clash of the Castle. I think something might pop off with Otis and Chad Gable, but you know what? I'm going to just throw caution to the wind here and say screw it. I think SummerSlam, Otis and Gable really have it out. I think they finally the tension builds enough and Otis snaps.
Okay. So I'm a little confused now because I could have sworn, let me double check. Yeah, okay. You said Becky Lynch and Chad Gable are free agents.
So what I'm reading is Becky Lynch is as of the other day, it was a free agent, and Chad Gable.
I saw that.
Chad Gable is a free agent, I think, by the end of this week. Unless I misread that. And if I did, I'm sorry. Come after me on social media. It's fine. I don't care.
So he could potentially, unless they re-sign him, he could potentially be a free agent at the end of Clash?
I believe so. I think that's right. It said soon to be free agent Chad Gable in one of the cheat sheets I was reading. So I don't know if that means like end of the week, end of the month. It just said soon to be. So,
well, Clash of the Castle is
Saturday,
Father's Day weekend,
next Saturday.
Yeah, Well, Sami Zayn is defending against Chad Gable, so never mind. I was gonna say, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they threw like a last minute wrench and put those two. But I don't think
Possibly.
they'll do another triple threat. Not after RKO, uh, Styles, and Zayn.
Well, I mean, they might because they did a Chad Gable and Bronson Reed and Sami Zayn. Oh, and another one coming up. And again, I don't know if it's this week, next month, but another one soon in the next couple of months is Natalia's contract is supposedly coming up.
I'm not as torn about that one. She's okay. I'm not a huge fan, but if her contract's up, okay, it doesn't bother me much.
I had a lot of respect for Natalya because I always feel like she's kind of the veteran of the women's group, right? And she brings she is now, right? But unless it's just complete BS, there are multiple dirt sheets that say there's a lot of people in her that are not big fans of her. That's why she's on NXT right now. So
I'm surprised I saw Shayna Baszler.
Shayna Baszler.
She's on NXT. I must have missed something. What the hell happened between her and what? I can't even think of her name. They were tag team partners for a while. She turned on Trish Stratus.
Oh, Zoe Stark.
Zoe, thank you. It was like right fucking there, and I couldn't get it out, man.
Zoe Stark, and I always forget her name. They call her like the Pitbull. She came in with the brothers, the wrestling brothers. She wears those like corn rolls, the two corn rolls.
Oh yeah.
Forget her name.
Valkyrie?
No, not Valkyrie.
No.
I'll know her name as soon as I hear it. Ivy Nile. Ivy Nile.
Ivy, okay.
So Ivy Nile and Zoe Stark are always been two that I really enjoy watching because again, you'll notice a pattern with me. I like a lot of the mid-carders, and I don't know why. I think it's because they don't get lost in that whole, they're not super over with the crowd. They actually have to work to get those pops. But man, when they get them, they're good. And it's the same thing with Al Snow. I mean, you look at Al Snow's career. Can you honestly tell me off the top of your head, what is Al Snow's greatest match of all time? Do you know?
No.
Can you tell me the top 5? Hardly anybody can. That's not a knock on Al Snow. That's not where I'm going with this. I love Al Snow. I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer because of what he gave to the business, what he brought to the locker room, his knowledge for the business. Look what he's doing with OVW.
The fact that you can remember his name, know what he looks like, and associate that with the mannequin head and have all that be positive. You don't need to remember any great matches because he's already contributed to the business. You know,
right?
I mean?
And I said this before when they had the wrestlers documentary on Netflix. The very last episode, I'm just going to say, I don't know, 15 minutes, and that's just a give or take. They did a moment, and again, I said this at the beginning of the show. I'm a sucker for promo packages, but they did a moment where Al Snow's like fighting back, and he's almost like hulking up, and he's like shaking his fists, and he grabs the mannequin head, and they switch back to the original Al Snow with the long hair and people in the ECW with all the mannequins doing this, and it brought back so much nostalgia for me. Like it was just instant, like you felt like you were back in time.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I'm saying is a lot of these, and I hate using this word, but that's what they are. They're mid-carders, and it's not necessarily a knock on them. It's just, let's face it, let's call it what it is.
Not everybody can be at the top.
Right.
Not everyone can be a main event. You have to have those fillers, and nothing wrong with that.
And, Bully Ray Dudley said this on Busted Open is if you go back and you watch the 90s and you watch the Attitude Era, everybody had a story from the very tip top, Stone Cold, The Rock, all the way down to the very bottom of the jobbers had some type of a story. And right now, that's what you have. And Chad Gable, Sami Zayn, Alpha Academy, man, they're knocking it out of the park. And I love it. It's one of the few things that I'm actually still enjoying. You've got the thing with AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes, and I want to get to Cody Rhodes in a minute because I don't want to call it a complaint, but I almost feel like we're kind of Cody Rhodes drunk at this point after WrestleMania because it's like, all right, you finished your story. Congratulations. Okay, now what? You know,
well, we were saying the same thing last year. It'd be like, all right, you got this major push. Go to WrestleMania. You lost. Now what? Well, now that he finished the story, it's
okay, now what?
Now what?
Yeah, you know, and
but I think it's because everybody hyped it up because at some point, who knows when, The Rock is returning, and that's the thing that everyone's going to be like clamoring about. So now it's not necessarily now what, it's what's next. Because you already know what now what. Does that make sense?
Right.
They already have that future plan. They're not going to have Cody drop title to anybody in particular. They want to hold that card for him against The Rock. So it's now who can he compete against in the interim.
Right. And it's I didn't want to get off to Cody just yet, but let me finish with Otis real quick, just so my mind's not spinning.
Yep.
I love what Chad Gable and Otis and the Alpha Academy are doing. I love what Sami Zayn are doing. I want them to stretch this out until SummerSlam because I feel like SummerSlam would mean more because you get a bigger response, not to knock on Clash of Clans or Clash of Champions or whatever it's called, but I think that crowd would appreciate it more because they don't go overseas very often. PLEs are the only shows they really get, so they would appreciate it more. But I think you would get a bigger, louder pop here in the States. I may be totally wrong on that. If you want to come after me, fine, come after me. But that's just my opinion, okay? And I don't even know if a bigger pop is the right word of what I'm looking for, but I think it would maybe hold more ground, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But regardless, I love what they're doing. I can't wait to see what's going on. I'm just, there's that small voice in the back of my head, the devil on my shoulder, if you will, that's like, okay, well, and I love LA Knight, but I feel like they've kind of missed the opportunity with LA Knight. They put him against everybody and he's lost. They put him with AJ Styles, he lost. They put him with RKO, he lost. They put him in a triple threat, he lost. Now they're putting him with Logan Paul. Okay. Well, if he loses, then what? You going to put him with Shinsuke Nakamura, who hadn't done nothing in a year? So I don't want their moment. I don't want Otis's and Chad Gable's momentum to burn out. Now, the fans are still big on LA Knight, which I love, but how much longer are they going to do that? That's my question.
Yeah, my issue is the fact that they start rivalry. It's almost like they know what they want to do, but they either end it prematurely or the fans don't back it.
Now,
I mean, LA Knight went through like 3 or 4 different rivalries in a 2-month span. You know what I mean? Right. He was going. He was doing a thing with Austin Theory, and then turn around. Okay, now it's Grayson Waller. Okay, well now it's Rey Mysterio. You know, now Logan Paul. You know what I mean? It's I couldn't keep up with what the hell they were doing with LA Knight. They had short-term answers for him. But at the end of the day, like nothing stuck.
Now, all that being said, I'm going to kind of throw a wrestler's perspective at this, okay? Didn't steal this from anybody that I know of. If somebody's already said this, fine. But let's be honest, a lot of people think alike nowadays. So this is actually coming from the brain of Whisky. What they might be doing is LA Knight is in his 40s. Now, according to a lot of wrestlers.
Really?
Yes. According to a lot of wrestlers, your prime is between your late 30s and your mid 40s. That's your prime. You got the mindset, you've got the experience, you've got the calluses on your back, you've taken a few bumps, you've been in the spotlight for a while, good, bad, or indifferent. So maybe what they're doing, maybe it's not so much creative. Maybe LA Knight just wants to fight all these different guys, get that experience and showcase his style against different people. Could be something like that. I don't know that. I haven't read that somewhere. It's just a thought that I had. So it's something to think about. It's a different perspective on things. But regardless, like I said, I love what they're doing with Otis. And the last thing I want to talk about is, I think it was 2 weeks ago when this thing really kicked off between Chad Gable and Alpha Academy and Sammy. Chad Gable slapped the shit out of Otis. Now, look, they're best friends in real life. They live down the street from one another. Like, they have Christmas and holidays together.
So a Sami Zayn KO thing.
Yeah. And I mean, Chad Gable slapped the piss out of Otis. And he's done it. He's slapped him a couple of times since then. Like every week on Raw, Otis is getting slapped now. So it's kind of lost its, mystique a little bit. But man, that first one, oh, dude. Like, you saw the sweat just fly off his face. You heard the pop. The crowd reacted. Even one guy in the front row, because they were right there on the apron, he was like, "That was real. That was real." And just, he's excited. I was just like, damn. And you can even see red on Otis's face. And I'm like,
wow.
Can you imagine slapping your best friend for wrestling? Like, seriously. But that's what I'm saying. People are loving this.
Oh yeah,
because
and you have to you have to lobby it up a little bit. Like, the slap is coming, like as the wrestlers,
right,
as friends, but you have to have some kind of element of surprise. Otherwise, that slap is not going to resonate exactly how it was with, say, like Cody Rhodes and The Rock, for example.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's funny because a lot of people know it's like, oh, the Chad Gable and Otis slap is the same thing as The Rock. And okay, so what? Who cares? You know how many times things get regurgitated in wrestling? We've seen the same fucking thing for 20 years. You can't just, and that's what I hate. It's not so much about just new ideas. And I get what people are saying, come up with a few, at least original ideas, fine. But you're going to have a lot of the same stuff. NWO, if you go back and watch TNA, it was basically aces and eights, right? I mean,
yeah.
You have all these different factions. Well, who really started the factions? The Four Horsemen.
Yep.
So you can sit there, oh, it's just regurgitated. It's just, well, no shit, Sherlock. How'd you figure that one out? I mean, come on.
If it works, rinse and repeat.
Right, exactly. Thank you. Everybody was giving crap about, I think it was last week, AJ Styles came out all bummed out and talking about retiring, calls Cody Rhodes out, raises his hand to the crowd, and then he drops Cody Rhodes. As I say that, it pops out right up here on my TV. But it's the same thing Mark Henry did to John Cena a few years ago. Same exact thing. And I liked it. I enjoyed it. I watched it on YouTube, and I thought it was really good. I thought it was brilliant. I'm so sick and tired of Solo Sikoa and this bloodline. But I really did. I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. And if it works, it works. But like I said, WWE, don't miss this opportunity with Otis, please. I beg you. I know he's going to have a short run, and I'm okay with that. I've come to terms with it, but I'm not ready for it to end yet. You got to do something for me, please. Cody Rhodes.
No.
All right.
Dude, the topics of Cody Rhodes is going to turn into, I guarantee you, chat, mark this shit down. I give this motherfucker 2 months. What month is this? June?
Uh-huh.
All right, I give you 2 months. I give you August, beginning of August. before you get sick and tired of talking about Cody Rhodes and you start comparing it to how you hated talking about the bloodline. Mark my words, chat.
Not at all where I was going with that. Not at all what I was going with that.
You're like, okay, let's talk about Cody Rhodes.
I was in one of my wrestling groups and got a hold of them. I was defending myself at one point, and I kid you not, I got kicked from the group. It was me versus 20 other people. My Facebook notifications were going off like crazy.
You're just making friends, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to talk about me making? We really need to go down that road. I got more enemies than I got friends, homie. But there was something that got brought up, and I thought it was a really good question. I honestly don't have an answer because Cody Rhodes' career is still going, and so is his brother's. I know it's toward the end of his career, but nonetheless, it's still going. Out of the 3 Rhodes right now, who's the best one? Cody, Dustin, or Dusty?
Right now, who is the best?
Right.
I would probably still go with Dusty.
Okay. I'm this is not word for word. I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact verbiage that I used. But I said, as of right now, Dusty is still number 1. Okay. Number 2 is Dustin because of what he did in the Attitude Era, what he has done with other companies.
Mm-hmm.
Good, bad, or indifferent. He did them. He was a part of the history, WCW, TNA, Impact, whatever. And say what you want about Goldust, but Goldust was brilliant. He, in my opinion, kicked off the Attitude Era. That's just my opinion. And if I'm wrong, fine, I'm wrong. And then Cody Rhodes. The amount of Cody crybabies that came after me and told me that Cody Rhodes was 10 times better than his father because he won a title and his daddy never did. Oh my God. And yes, I don't think any of them were over the age of 19.
Oh my God.
Except for one.
I agree with you about having
the one
Dustin number 1, but
the one person that was over 19 years old, I guarantee he was in his 50s, and his name was Clint.
I would put Cody over Dustin. But I would still have Dusty number 1. Not who cares if he. Okay, look at it this way. Shocker. We all know wrestling is planned. I'm not going to say it's fake because they still get cuts, they still bleed, they still get bruises, injuries, stuff like that.
Right.
So I'm not going to do any kind of disrespect to say it's fake. It's planned. It's sports entertainment. Okay. The fact that Cody won a title that his dad never did, who fucking cares? You know what I mean?
That's a bold statement, my friend. That's a bold statement.
How? Just because Cody won the title that Dusty never did, that makes Cody better? No. Because of everything that Dusty has done for the industry, not necessarily just the company, but the industry, all the wrestlers that he impacted, he's going to be number 1.
Dusty,
this isn't.
Go ahead.
No, what's up?
I was just going to say, if you look, and I like where you're going with this. I love this, by the way. Very proud of it. But what I was going to say was Dusty has handpicked a lot of these guys. Roman Reigns, Bailey,
Seth.
Right. Exactly. He was a fan of LA Knight, watching him in another organization.
Yep.
No, did Dusty say, hey, go get LA Knight? No, I don't think he did. But nonetheless, he saw the potential. And when you can see that, and then you grab people like the Roman Reigns, the Seth Rollins, the Baileys, and whoever else he trained. I don't know. I know there's a huge list. I don't know who they all are. I'm sorry. I just don't. But then you look at people like The Rock. You look at people like Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Diamond Dallas Page, Scott Hall, he touched generations of lives, wrestlers, and look at the run that he had. He got to wrestle with both of his boys, and his prime of his life, he was up against Ric Flair, he was up against the Iron Sheiks, he was up against the Hulk Hogan's, he was up against the Macho Mans. You're really going to sit here and tell me Cody Rhodes is better because of his dad, because he got one championship? I don't buy it.
Let me put in this perspective. All right, so I'm going to switch up sports.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring this into football terms.
All right.
Saying, now this might be a crude comparison, but bear with me. Saying that Cody is better than Dusty just because he won one title that Dusty couldn't or didn't. Who would you, in your personal opinion, who would you say is better, Drew Brees or Dan Marino? Aaron Rodgers or Dan Marino? Rodgers and Brees, they both have one Super Bowl to their name.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, they're nowhere near comparable to Dan Marino. And this dude's in the Hall of Fame. He never won a fucking Super Bowl.
Right. You bring up a good point, and I like it. I really do, and I'll do one better than that. If you don't know, my favorite football player of all time is Brett Favre. I don't care about the personal shit. Leave that alone.
I was gonna bring him up, but I'm like, I didn't know how you were gonna react comparing Favre and Rodgers or some shit. I was like, oh shit, red flag. No, don't go there.
Favre is my all-time favorite, and again, I'm talking about the player on the football field. I don't care about his personal life, but you know, when you bring up Brett Favre and Dan Marino, man, that I honestly, and this is coming from somebody who will defend Favre to the end, man. I'll go to battle for that man. I think it's a coin flip between the two of them. I really honestly do. Because you look at what Dan Marino did, you look at what Brett Favre did, and you're like, I think Favre's got the edge because he's got the Super Bowl, but it's hard to compete with what Dan Marino did. I mean, I'll do you one better. Look at running backs. Look at what was his name? Beast Mode. Why can't I think of his name?
Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch versus Barry Sanders.
Yeah. Lynch has one. No, does he have one or two?
I don't know.
He got one with Seahawks. I know that much.
Could have had two if his coach wouldn't have passed the ball.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you're really going to sit there and say Marshawn Lynch is a lot better than Barry Sanders because he has this title. I mean, and this is not pre-planned sports,
right? And this is here's the other thing about it. I know what everybody's going to say. Well, you're talking about two different time periods. You talk about two different runs of styles.
Same thing with wrestling.
Exactly. You're talking about a brawler bruiser with Dusty Rhodes, and more of a, I don't want to say finesse, but more of a technical wrestler in Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
So, I once again, I got into it with a bunch of people on the group because I made the comment, and I stand by this. I think Cody Rhodes, listen to my words, could hang with Brett Favre in a technical wrestling match. Bret Hart. Did I say Brett Favre? I said Brett Favre. Bret Hart.
That'd be interesting to watch.
Right. I think Cody Rhodes and Bret Hart would have a good technical match. Obviously, Bret Hart has the advantage because he's more of a technician, but I think Cody Rhodes could hold his own at least. I think he'd put up a good fight. But I think Bret Hart still comes up on top, and I hate saying that because I can't stand Bret Hart.
I got one for you. We're comparing different wrestlers, the legacies, and this, that. So let's take a step back and put somebody within Dusty's era. How would you compare Hogan and Dusty? Because in my opinion, Dusty is still better than Hogan.
Oh, that's such a loaded question. As far as putting
why I asked it.
As far as putting people in seats and selling tickets, Hogan's got the advantage. Bigger name, in my opinion. Why do I say that? Well, you look at what Hogan did versus what Dusty did. Now, Dusty had a lot of great matches, a lot of great rivalries, but he never slammed Andre the Giant. He never went to two different companies and held the reins at both companies. Not necessarily championships. I'm not talking about titles here. I'm talking about he held the reins. He was big man on campus.
Yeah, but Hogan wasn't the first one to slam Andre the Giant either. And they never gave Dusty an opportunity to wrestle Andre the Giant.
Well, that's like saying that Dan Marino never won a championship. Is he still that good? Because he never won a championship. Because if you ask all the football gurus out there, Dan Marino's not all that great because he never won a Super Bowl. So see that's why I say it's a loaded question. Now, if you're asking who I enjoy more, Dusty, without a question. Who would I rather pay money for? For my money, it's Dusty Rhodes because I find him more entertaining. But I'm talking about for the millions and millions of people, if I could use The Rock's terminology, a lot of people are going to say Hogan. And even, I'll throw this little nugget out there. I'll have to find it, but I know there's a clip out there. The Undertaker, Mark Calloway himself, was asked who was on his Mount Rushmore. And he himself put Hulk Hogan on Mount Rushmore because of what he did for the business. And not Dusty Rhodes.
I would not disagree that Hogan is on this Mount Rushmore because of what he did to the company or for the company. But make no mistake, that was one company. The fact that Dusty was able to do it for multiple companies.
Well, no, wait a minute.
Even small circuits.
He did it for WCW too because he was the reason that they were kicking ass in the 90s for 83 weeks. He was beating the company that he came from for 83 straight weeks. Nobody's ever done that before. So you're going to sit here and tell me owning a fireworks stand. I was going somewhere with that, and about midway through, I lost it. I was just like, you know what? I'm this far deep. I'm going to keep going.
You say that, I'm like, ooh, fireworks. I could go for some fireworks. I mean, what's up?
But I understand what you're saying, but nobody, not even Dusty Rhodes, not Ric Flair, nobody was able to go to WCW and put them over on top of WWF.
That's true. Okay, so let me ask you this then. Why was there so much pushback when he finally came back? Because not everybody really accepted Hogan when he came back.
I beg to differ. Go back and watch The Rock versus Hulk Hogan. Go back and watch The Rock and Shawn Michaels. Go back and watch Go back and watch Hogan and Shawn Michaels. Go back and watch Hogan and Edge when they teamed up. So he was accepted. It was a long acceptance, but he was still accepted.
It took a while for them to accept him.
Yeah, it took a while, but he was still accepted though. But I'm not over Cody Rhodes. And again, maybe they're at that point to where they're just trying to get a feel for everybody. AJ Styles is hinted multiple times about retirement. John Cena has hinted multiple times about retirement. Maybe they're just kind of, bounced around until either The Rock or Roman Reigns comes back. Or until they find that next big guy to kind of give a push to. Now, I was asked this question on one of the groups. Do you think
you were kicked out?
Yeah. Do you think, oh, dude, I get kicked out of so many Facebook groups. It's not even funny. That not necessarily now, not necessarily in 6 months, but let's say in the next 2 to 5 years. Okay. Let's fast forward 2 to 5 years.
2 to 5 years. Gotcha.
Do you see a Sami Zayn, a KO, or a Chad Gable being able to be what Cody Rhodes is?
No.
Okay. Let me ask you the same question with these two guys. Do you see a Jey Uso or a LA Knight being what Cody Rhodes is?
Yes.
Why?
So I don't necessarily think of, for me, I look at it as the crowd work. So I'll use that as an example. Every single fucking time someone like Jey Uso goes out, he's got the whole crowd just at his fingertips before he's even doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
They have videos like at the live shows. He's trying to break Damian Priest, getting him to yeet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, did you see that video? That was fucking hilarious.
I think I've seen a glimpse of it. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw a
It was
glimpse of it.
fucking awesome. He almost did it too. And he's like, no, I can't break character. And he took out Jay. But it's like using just the example of crowd work. I can see Jey Uso being given that slight push. And I say slight push because he already has that momentum. He already has the fans. He already has the history. He has the experience to really carry the company.
Okay.
I really believe he does. I think he could actually switch places with Cody Rhodes right now and he'll still skyrocket. Someone like, I like Sami Zayn. I like KO. But they don't. I mean, Sami Zayn occasionally, but depending on the venue that they're at, the crowd won't be really behind him like as soon as he hits the ramp and start chanting his theme. That's certain locations.
Right.
The only one that I could really compare Jey Uso to would be Seth Rollins, and look at everything he's done. So that's why I'm thinking, yeah, when you bring up Jey Uso, yes, 4 or 5 years, I think he has exactly what it takes to carry the company, be like the next face, the next champion, and move on. Sami Zayn, KO, I think it would be a tough sell.
I think if they did it, they'd have to do it as a heel.
Yeah, I can see that.
Now, and it's funny because KO is one of those people. When KO came onto the scene, I didn't like him. Didn't like him. Couldn't stand KO. Now,
is this NXT time or after?
After, when he came to the main roster.
Okay.
I was not a fan of KO. I was like, here's another fat guy who thinks he can wrestle. And then I started paying attention to him, and I started seeing.
Oh, the dude has skills.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, fat boy can wrestle. Power to the fat people. I'm here for it. I mean, I'm here for it. It's not a dad bod. It's a father figure. So, but I love KO. I really do. Even when he's a bad guy, I still like him now. Sami Zayn, I hated him as a heel, but he was so much fun to hate. I was like, I kind of like the guy. Even the stuff he did with Johnny Knoxville, as goofy and as outlandish as it was, I'm a sucker for that. You know that I love the goofy wrestling. I loved it. I really did. And that kind of come full circle. I mean, you go back to the whole Otis and Chad Gable thing. Otis is going to eventually turn on Chad Gable. Everybody's going to cheer for Otis, but eventually the crowd might get tired of Otis, and that means he's going to turn on somebody.
Yeah.
And that's going to be one of those make it or break it moments for me. It's like, dude, you've really been pushing for Otis, so now what are you going to do? But
I really genuinely believe if they play their cards right, they will not turn on Otis. I really think that I don't see Otis as a singles competitor. I think he is perfect and tailor-made for a tag team or a small stable. Example would be, think New Day. They need to put him in that kind of environment and just let him run with it. Exactly what they did right now with Alpha Academy, him and Chad Gable. If they're having Chad potentially be a free agent, that's why he turned, really makes no sense, because it's like you have such this short amount of time. Just let him be a babyface for the duration. But as far as Otis goes, keep him in that stable. Maybe not a tag team with that. What's his name? Tomas. I I can't. I'm butchering his name, and he's fucking awesome.
DIY.
You know who I'm talking about?
DIY.
No, the fucking shimmy guy in Alpha Academy.
Oh,
I can't even think
it
of his name.
starts with a T, and I don't know what his
Yeah.
name is. Tashiwa or something like that.
Yeah, the shimmy guy. I'm
Yeah.
gonna butcher his name. I'm not gonna attempt to butcher his name anymore. But I don't necessarily think teaming him and Otis up will be a smart move. But you got to put Otis in with someone else that's just as big, someone's just as someone, for lack of a better word, can carry their own weight.
Somebody who's over with the crowd like Otis.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. I'm drinking your Kool-Aid now.
Because you see the other guy go in there, and yeah, he's fast acting. He reminds me a lot of Ricochet, a lot. But I don't see that many people really behind him. I think that was the whole reason they put him in Alpha Academy in the first place.
Yeah. I would love. I've said this before, and I'm going to keep saying it. I want to see an Otis and R-Truth.
Oh, that would be so cool, dude.
I want to see R Otis. WWE, you're welcome. R Otis. Hashtag R Otis. So last piece of business we'll get to with wrestling, and if you want to spend the rest of the time talking about whatever, you can. Rapid fire, real quick. I'm going to name off 3 names. You tell me going or staying.
Going or staying as far as
Yes.
like free agency?
Yeah.
Okay.
And some of these have been confirmed, some have not. So if they end up not going anywhere, my bad. But just for shits and grins.
Okay.
Becky Lynch.
I think she's coming back.
I do too, and I'll tell you why. I think her and Seth both need some time off. And I think the whole thing with her and Liv Morgan was, I thought it was a little sporadic, but I think maybe she just decided, you know what, I need some time off. I need to be with my family. You know, Seth ran hard for 3 years. I've been running hard for 3 years. We've got a kid at home. Let us have some time off. I don't see her going to AEW. I'm sorry.
No.
It's not that I hate. I'm not one of these people that I hate AEW and all my. I'm just not a big fan of theirs. And I feel like right now AEW is kind of in an identity crisis. And they've got top-notch talent. I'm not going to say they don't. They've got Edge. They've got Christian, whatever the names they're using over there. They've got, as much as people hate him, they've got Chris Jericho. They've got MJF. They have talent. They have Darby Allin, Butch Cassidy. They've got talent. So it's not.
I was saying at the beginning of the year that MJF was going to be, dude. I wanted him to jump ship and go to WWE.
No,
I wanted that shit so bad.
But I think she takes some time off, maybe a few months, maybe even a year. But I think she comes back at a big pay-per-view and, you know, rattles the cage a little bit. Chad Gable, going or staying?
He's staying.
Staying. Yeah, I'm with you there. I don't think Chad Gable goes anywhere. I think he will be tempted to, but when you look at what he's created here, why would he go anywhere else?
Yeah.
Natalya.
Gone.
I don't think
and I hate to say this, but I don't think anyone will really miss either.
If she does stay, I think it'll be a Legends contract or she'll have like a retirement match here. Because I don't really know anything about AEW's women's division. I know nothing about it, to be honest with you. Nothing.
Natalya, I compare a lot to Nia Jax. Yeah, interesting to watch sometimes. A lot of the times it's very clunky. But at the end of the day, did anyone really, and I genuinely hate to say this about a wrestler, because I can only imagine what they fucking go through, whether it's a babyface or a heel.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking from a fan perspective, I didn't miss when Nia Jax was gone. And that's going to be my same take for Natalya. She stays cool, but I don't see her that much anyway. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I think we've covered just about everything. You've got the stuff with Liv Morgan and Dom, which I'm a little interested in, but
I don't even know what the fuck's going on with that.
So the last pay-per-view they had, Dom came out and basically helped, quote unquote, helped Becky Lynch win the title.
Becky Lynch or Liv?
Or Liv, sorry.
Liv? Okay.
He inadvertently helped win, and then he came out during the rematch on Monday Night Raw. And then the kiss happened. Now, there's been mixed reviews on this because if you pay attention, and I'm going to bust it open just because I listened to their podcast, those guys didn't see it. It went off the air, and then the kiss happened. 3 minutes after WWE went off the air, Liv kissed Dom. Now, Rhea Ripley's gone, so Mommy's out of the picture. And he's married in real life. Of course, that's neither here or there. But he can't seem to tell Liv Morgan off. Finn Balor's been stepping in to save Dom to tell Liv Morgan off for it. So it's a little interesting. I'm kind of curious where they're going with it, but it's like, all right, kind of y'all been building it up, get to the point. It's one of those storylines where it's kind of interesting, but I'm not buying it completely yet. I'm
kind of buying it. I don't think anything's like really there, but I think they're definitely planting the seeds for when Rhea Ripley returns.
Yeah.
Have her and Liv Morgan, and then it's almost like, all right, who gets not to pour salt on the wound, but it's like a divorce case. You're fighting over Dom, you know what I mean?
Custody battle 2.2, 2.0.
Right?
But I don't know, man. Like I said,
it's having the fucking ticks now, right? No.
Right. But it's an okay thing. I don't mind it. It's not my favorite, but I'm like, okay, I kind of see where they're going. But man, it's been great to be back tonight. Just talking with you, and I was talking to Sam before the show, and I was like, man, I don't know what it is. Yesterday I was amped up. I was ready to come back. Today I've been amped up, ready to come back. And like an hour for the show, she's like, oh God, here we go. But overall, it's just it's fun to come on here and talk. Now, we're 57 minutes and 53 seconds into this thing, and I haven't even made my huge announcement. So here it is. You ready for the big announcement?
Sure.
Tune in next week when we tell you. No. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I miss streaming. I really miss streaming. I miss interacting with people and acting goofy. And
I was gonna ask you about this. Go for it.
And so Friday night. Now, I don't have a time set yet, but stay tuned because I'll post it here on the page. I have to pick up my kids at 6:15 on Friday. Between 7:30 and 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on Twitch, Whiskey Pro Streams is coming back this Friday for Friday Night Fortnite. And Bananas, I'm coming after you. I don't know why I have a screwdriver in my hand, but I'm coming after you. I've really missed just hanging out and getting to talk to people and playing video games with friends. I kind of talked a little bit about it at the beginning of the stream. Or maybe I didn't. I was talking with you, I think, before the show about how I kind of found my love for gaming again. I've played Fable 1. I beat it. I played Fable 2. I got to like 85% completion. And I played Fable 3, beat it. Oh God, that was horrible. Don't play Fable 3. But I really started to find my love for gaming again. And as much as I loved it, I was like, you know what, man? I really miss the people. I miss the interactions. I'm always in grumpy streams on Saturdays and Sundays. And even on Mondays, if I'm at lunch and he's on, I'll pop in and say hi. There's a few other people out there, but I just really miss it. And I thought, what better way to come back this week with the show and stream a little bit. So Friday night, I'm throwing out an open invitation. Anybody who wants to come join, whether it's your first time, whether you've been friends with me for the whole time I've been streaming the last 3 years, I'm going to come back and we're going to raise some hell and have some fun.
Links in chat, people.
So Friday night, Fortnite, I'm coming after every banana I see, NPC or not. If you're a banana, I'm coming after you.
Now the real question is, when are you going to set a little time aside for Destiny?
Don't know if I'll stream Destiny yet. Let me get a little bit better first. Let me get my feet wet and figure it out, because I watched you stream it on Saturday, and I got to say, all that jumping around you were doing, that ain't my vibe, man. That ain't the whiskey don't jump.
That was, and I think it's now gone, but that was an exotic mission. So it was already, from what they say, running it on normal is the exact same difficulty as running it on legend. So it was a pain in the ass. But yeah, that's gone. I mean, now with Final Shape released, but dude, you should give it a try.
We might run some Destiny. You and I are definitely gonna play off stream for sure. So
maybe on mine then.
But matter of fact, hang on, I'll tell you exactly what I have, because I got my Xbox right in front of me. So here is a list of games that I have on my Xbox that I have downloaded. Come on, work with me here. I've got Dead by Daylight DVD, Deep Rock Galactic, Destiny 2, Fortnite, Halo Infinity, PoW World, State of Decay 2, and The Division 2. Those are the games that are currently downloaded on my Xbox. They say to try to keep about 75 to 80% full on your Xbox. You want to have about 20% free so your Xbox runs good. I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here, Brews. The only thing I got to do, and I know you and I did it before, I got to go back into, was it Stream Light for Xbox?
Lightstream.
You're going to have to reset all that up for me, because I don't remember how to get into it, and I don't remember what the hell I did. So, but this Friday I'll be back, and we're just going to have fun and kick ass, man. I'm not taking any of it seriously. I'm going to do some stupid stuff. I'm sure maybe we'll do a pistols only match. Maybe we'll do a shotguns only match, and just have fun and emote on people and donkey laugh until our heart's content. So there's the big announcement.
Sounds good. I'll be in most of it. Absolutely.
Like I said, I don't have an exact time yet. When we get closer to the day, I'll try. It's going to be between 7:30 and 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Like I said, I got to get my kids, get them home, get them fed. I haven't seen them in like 4 months, but it was funny, because the moment I decided, damn it, I'm streaming Friday, I kid you not, 15 minutes after I started telling everybody, hey, Dad, can we come over this weekend?
You know what? Do you have multiple consoles?
No.
Damn. Does your PC? You have a PC or a laptop?
I got a laptop. I got a cheap little laptop from Amazon.
Do you think the laptop is strong enough to? No. I was gonna say, hell, put them, stream with them. No,
they're too cool for school now. But no, we're gonna have some fun times, and I might stream an hour. I might stream 2 hours. I might stream 5 hours and late into the night. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how the chat's flowing, how the games are going. But I at least want to come back Friday night, and maybe it'll be, I don't know about an every Friday night thing, but maybe it'll be every other Friday. We'll come out. We'll do Friday night Fortnite, and we might even do a little bit midnight Rumble. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's going on. So,
well, shit, just like you, man. We're both ripping off the Band-Aid, huh?
Yep. But here's my problem with streaming. And I've said this before on Grumpy Stream. I've said it a few other streams. I love to stream. I really do. I enjoy it. I love talking to people and getting to know people and hanging out. But number one, it's scheduled, because got 4 kids. Life goes on. I work a full-time job, and Mrs. works a full-time job. Everybody works a full-time job around here. And between kids and work and the mundane life stuff and just trying to fit in a schedule. The other part of that is I get burned out really easily with gaming. But hopefully with this newfound love I have for video games, I'll be able to kind of sit back and relax and just have fun with it again.
Fingers crossed, man. It'll be good to fucking see you go live again.
I've definitely missed it. I don't know if I'm going to get back into Apex because I played that the other day. Oh, the sweats. Oh, so many sweats. So many sweats.
Oh, dude, I told you off stream. So my oldest, that's all he plays now is Apex.
Mm-hmm.
And man, he had a stream earlier on today, and he was super stoked. He was kill leader and got a win.
That's awesome.
And I think it was solo because now you can do solo games.
Yep. So, but Friday night Fortnite, 7:30, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Like I said, don't have an exact set date, or exact set time, but when I have one, I'll let everybody know. I just got to get with Brews Meister here, my producer, and have him help me set up stream light stream, whatever the hell it's called. And we'll have some fun with it. So keep those notifications on. Now, Bruce, do you have anything you want to talk about the cruise or anything like that? Anything fun happened while you were out?
Yes. Avoid cruises at all costs.
Wow.
It wasn't how it was 15 years ago. I should have known that. But yeah, dude, taking a taxi 5-6 minutes away from the port, they're charging like $50 a person to get to the beach, and then the beach charges you to fucking get on the beach.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
So all we did was walk around the shops and eat. I got a cool shot glass of a skull in Belize.
Nice.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Hold up.
Okay. If anybody's watching this, y'all need to put some eggplants in the chat. Really mess with Bruce.
I hear you still, fucker.
Oh, good.
Look at that.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Now, I thought it was carved at first, but there's a come on, focus. It says Belize like right there, but it's like the
laser.
No, it's like a fucking gel kind of thing, like a sticker.
Oh, gotcha.
It's not even focusing, but let me try and do this. Oh, hey, I can autofocus. You see that though?
Yep.
But
awesome.
That's all I ended up getting, man.
Hey, you got something.
Yeah, that and sunburn. But dude, I have a shitload of photos. I'm gonna be uploading eventually. I mean, I sent you that one photo of having Woodford Reserve on the cruise. That shit was nice.
I bet.
But I mean, not for $20 shot though. But
oh, damn.
Correction, $20 for 2 shots. They did a double.
So $10 a shot then.
Kind of, considering the first one was like I think $14. And then they're like, we can do a double for additional, $6. I'm like, sure, go for it. And I get the thing is like $20 a glass. I'm like, fuck.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well,
so
it's good to be back, man. It's good to hear your voice. It's good to see you.
Hell yeah, man.
So next week we'll have a lot more to talk about. I got a buddy of mine, by the way, that's working over at. Give me just a second. It's a brewery out in Irving, and the name is completely escaping my mind.
You have a buddy working at a brewery? Road trip.
Outfit Brewery. Outfit Brewery.
Oh, I've wanted to go there.
So his name is Kelly. Go see him. He's there the next 3 nights, tonight, tomorrow night, and Thursday night, I believe. So make a trip out there. Go see Kelly. He's a really good friend of mine. I worked with him at the security place we used to work at. Good guy, solid guy. But man, I got nothing else. I'm spent.
I got nothing. I got my wife's leftover beer, but
There you go. Well, cheers to everybody.
cheers.
Been fun. It's good seeing everybody. Cover your ears because you're about to get your ears blown off. As always, I'm Whiskey.
I'm Brews.
Peace.